The morning you inherit $450 million, you are wearing a Walmart hoodie. You are 26, broke, and your biggest worry is your overdue electric bill. Then a stranger in a gray suit appears at your door with a sealed envelope. Inside is a letter saying you just inherited $450 million from a grandfather you never knew. But the letter ends with one sentence that should have stopped you cold. Nothing is what it seems. You read it again from the top. $450 million. The number does not look real in print. You actually laugh out loud, alone in your apartment. You call your mom. She goes completely quiet when she hears his name. Your grandfather's name was Edward Cole. You never met him, not even once. Your mother never spoke about him, not a single story. 2 days later, a black SUV picks you up from your building. The law firm is in a glass tower downtown, 42nd floor. 4 attorneys are already waiting, all in identical dark suits. They slide a folder across a mahogany table toward you. Everything is yours. The accounts, the properties, the offshore trusts, all of it. One of the lawyers smiles, but his eyes stay completely still. You sign 16 pages without reading past the first paragraph. It is the feeling of power, and you have never had it before. That feeling will cost you sleep in exactly 4 nights. The first week is like a dream someone else is having. A cousin you have not seen since you were 8 sends you heart emojis. Your ex appears at your door with coffee and an apology. You move into one of the properties, a house in Connecticut worth $11 million. It has 9 bedrooms, a wine cellar, and a library the size of a small school. Your footsteps echo off marble floors the first night. The house is beautiful, and it feels completely wrong. On the 5th night, the silence gets to you. The house is too big and too empty and too quiet. You go to the library, because it is the only room that feels like something real. Like someone actually lived there once and left something behind. You pull a random book from the 3rd shelf just to feel normal. A small leather journal drops to the floor. It is old, the cover worn soft from years of handling. The handwriting inside is tight and urgent, like someone writing against a clock. The first entry is dated 22 years ago. Your grandfather writes about a company called Meridian Capital Group. He describes transfers in the tens of millions across 12 countries. He lists names, followed by dollar amounts that make your eyes blur. He uses the word "they" over and over, without ever explaining who they are. By page 4, your hands are shaking. You flip to the last entry, dated 11 days before his death. He writes that if they discover what he removed, everything stops right there. But he made certain someone he trusted would be left holding the truth. You never once shook hands with this man. You do not sleep that night. In the morning, you call David Marsh, the lead attorney. He picks up on the first ring. You ask him directly about Meridian Capital Group. There is a pause that lasts 1 second too long. He says he has never heard that name in his life. Simple words, but the way he says them makes your skin move. You hang up, and you already know what that pause meant. You hire a private investigator named Sal, a retired federal detective. You show him the journal and sit across from him in silence. He reads every page twice, slowly. Then he looks up and tells you your grandfather was not hiding wealth. He was building a case. Meridian Capital Group was a shell operation running money for very powerful clients. Not business money, not legal money. Your grandfather joined as an accountant in the late 1990s and began quietly copying every document he processed. He did this for over 20 years without being detected. You look at Sal and something clicks into place. $450 million is not an inheritance. It is the price they put on finding out what you know. Sal tells you the attorneys you signed with on day 1 do not represent you. They represent Meridian. The documents you signed gave them access to track every single asset. They were not settling an estate. They were finding out how much you already knew. You go back to the house and start in the library. Behind the 3rd bookcase, the wall sounds different when you knock on it. You push until something gives, and it opens. Inside is a fireproof safe with a hard drive inside. 2 passports with different names sit beside it. And there is a letter written to you by name, in handwriting you now recognize. You do not know it yet. But that small piece of plastic is about to make you the most dangerous person in the country. The letter is 3 pages long. Edward explains that he watched you grow up from a distance. Your mother had hidden him from you to keep you safe, but he watched long enough to know exactly who you were. He writes that the money is only the door. What is behind the door is what he needs you to carry forward. The hard drive contains 30 years of financial records, real names, real dates, real amounts, enough to end several careers and several freedoms. He did not leave you wealth. He left you a responsibility and decided you were the right person to hold it. You sit on the floor of that hidden room for a long time. You could erase the drive tonight, keep the money, keep quiet, and disappear into a very comfortable life. $450 million buys silence extremely well. Or you could finish what this man spent his entire adult life building. A man who never once met you, trusted you more than anyone alive. You think about David Marsh and those 3 simple words. You think about an old man sitting alone, copying documents, decade after decade, on the chance that the right person would find them and act. You pick up the hard drive. You call Sal. You say 3 words. Let's finish it. 6 months later, Meridian Capital Group is on every major front page in the country. 4 senior executives face federal indictment. 1 sitting senator resigns before the second round of subpoenas reaches him. David Marsh and his entire firm are under federal investigation. The $450 million is frozen during the legal proceedings. That part hurts more than you expect. But tucked inside the back cover of the letter, folded once, is a stock certificate already in your name. A small technology company your grandfather quietly invested in 15 years ago. It went public 2 years ago and is now valued at over $1.2 billion. He did not leave you a test. He left you a plan that only you could finish. POV, you inherited $450 million. Nothing was what it seemed. The money was never the point. The point was learning who you are when everything is on the line. It turns out you already knew. He just needed you to find out for yourself.